Hello everyone, and welcome to the last prompt for the scavenger hunt for Bucket Listathon. I hope you guys have had fun, and I hope you will take this into the end of the year and even into the beginning of the year if you need to. I have really enjoyed all of the prompts and creativeness with all of the creators that have been involved in the scavenger hunt. So I implore you, once again, please make sure to go and check out their channels because there's so much more content waiting for you guys if you need a little bit of entertainment. But we still have one prompt left, as I said. So let's see who our last booktuber is.
Hello, my name is Nicole, and I can be found at Noteworthy Fiction on YouTube. I like to read classics, world literature, science fiction, and a lot of books that no one is talking about. And so my prompt for you is to read a book that is unknown, a book that no one is talking about, and share it with us. As an example of a book that would fulfill this prompt, earlier this year, I read The Inevitable by Daniel Hope. This is a science fiction that I haven't heard anyone talking about, and it was unknown to me at the time that I read it, and I absolutely enjoyed this novel. It has tropes of found family. It is about a robot named Tuck, who is the last robot in the universe, and he's just going around trying to gather scraps to hold himself together. His only friend is his ship companion that is AI, whose name is David, and he is trying to escape all the collectors who would like to add him to their collection. This is a really cute, quirky book. I highly recommend it, but you can't choose it because I've already talked about it. So I hope you find a book that is unknown for you to read and enjoy.
Nicole, I will be adding The Inevitable to my TBR right away because I think it sounds incredible. I love a robot story to begin with, but it sounds like, and I might be, making stuff up from what I gathered from your synopsis or your summary of the book, but it sounds like almost an exploration of self as well, because he is trying to find all these pieces to keep himself going and what it means to be alive type of thing. And I love that type of exploration in a story, so I'm excited. Thank you for the recommendation. For my TBR book, I did actually find a book on my physical TBR that fits this prompt because I've never heard anyone talk about the series that I'm going to talk about. It was actually at a local book fair that I went to. They had like a wine and book night, and they had a couple of different authors that were in that you could talk with, and I fell in love with this story. I haven't read it yet, unfortunately, which I think it's been on my shelves for over a year, so I really need to alleviate that issue. But this is called The Tidings of Misfits by Jordan Dugdale. And this author is lovely. I got to sit and chat with her a little bit, and it was her and her brother were at this event, and they have been doing a campaign, a D&D campaign for 8 years. And what each of these books is, and I think there's only 2 published now, maybe the 3rd is out by now. I have the first 2 books. Each of them is a year of the campaign that they have done together, which I just find very sweet. But the synopsis of this also sounds very intriguing. It says, a voice calls to them from Volendam. 5 misfits are forced together by fate. A vampire marked by a shadow woman possessing his blood, a thief with a price on her head for the attempts to assassinate the Sultan of Shoma, a man who lost his name, and 2 lizard folk, one who seeks immortality and the other seeks a life of their own. When the ground opens up and sends them underground, the 5 strangers land inside a cavern overrun by ratkin, grotesque mutated rats worshipping a god whose return would bring about the end of days. And they essentially have to figure out how to get above ground again. I am really looking forward to this because of the fact that it is so obscure of a title, I guess. I don't know if I should call it that or not. Since it's not a very well-known title, I haven't been able to find an audiobook for it, which is one of the reasons it has sat on my shelves for a little bit, because I just haven't made time to sit down and physically read it. But this prompt has actually kind of refreshed my desire to get to it, because I do think it sounds fantastic, and I don't know why I've let it sit on my shelves and get dusty. So thank you, Nicole, for the little bit of a push to get to a physical TBR book. If you're looking for a recommendation, which I know this kind of defeats the purpose because now you will have heard of the book, but I'm going to throw it out anyway, and that is the Wickwire Watch. I read this for Battle of the Booktubers. It was a book I'd never heard of before. I don't hear a lot of people talking about it, and I absolutely loved it. It is about a younger person or younger man. I can't remember how old he is at the beginning of the book. And he has a really interesting name. Is it Inkwell? It's something along those lines. It's a very interesting name, and he is a thief. And he ends up stealing something that gets him in a little bit of trouble. There are some aberrations that are after him after he has made this, after he has stolen this artifact, and a group of individuals come forth to try and help him, and he doesn't quite know if he should trust them. He doesn't really trust anybody. I was very pleased by the uniqueness of the story, the fact that it always kept me guessing. It also had some really cozy, wholesome moments in it as well. The one caveat I did say that kind of threw me out of it a little bit was that this book is written not necessarily in the way that I like series to be written, which is where the first book is kind of an encompassing story that maybe has some through lines that are going to be seen in the next book. This, you really don't get a lot of answers at the end. You're meant to go into the second book immediately, I think, after you've read it. And unfortunately, I didn't do that. So I am going to have to reread the first book and then continue on with the series because I really loved it. So if you haven't heard of it, The Wickwire Watch is a great book. So that's it for the scavenger hunt. I hope you guys had fun, and I hope that you enjoy this prompt. I love looking into unknown titles that I've never heard anybody talk about before, especially if I end up loving them, because then I can just shout them from the rooftops and it's new for everybody. Go and give Nicole's channel some love. I have linked her in the description for you guys, and I will see you in my next video because we don't have another prompt. I also look forward to chatting with you guys in the Discord. If you have unknown titles, please feel free to share them with our community, either here in the comments or in the Discord. Either is fine. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.